Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings. Big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the par, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the theme song. Do it for Deuce and Mo.
We are live!
Happy Friday nights. Coming to you after a bizarre finish between Denver and OKC, where the Nuggets get it done in overtime to take a 2-1 series lead. How we doing, everybody?
Yes.
What up, Deuce?
Hey.
Hey, Morgan.
Hi.
Man.
I'm rooting for y'all.
What a night.
Yes.
Let's go, Kane.
Got a couple of good ones tomorrow. Knicks-Celtics tomorrow at
Early.
Madison Square Garden. Knicks trying to take a commanding 3-0 lead.
Insane.
The Wolves and Warriors. Interested to see what the Wolves look like. How are we doing tonight? Appreciate you guys hanging out with us, you basketball sickos.
Give me a hell yeah!
Shout out to Daniel. What's up, Christie? Forever Be Punk, KC, Oberyn, Fred. Thank you. Biggest thing you could do in this special live stream that we're doing.
Special live
Because
stream. It's a Friday night just after a game, and we decided to go live instead of doing a clip.
Yeah, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. We're going to be doing playoff clips throughout like we have been. Sometimes we'll go live like we decided to do tonight. I think we've done another Friday night too.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
There's something about a Friday night going live.
So we're going to talk about what just went down between the Nuggets and Thunder, sprinkle in some Cavs Pacers, look ahead to tomorrow's game. In addition, sprinkle in some Kings stuff too. Mike Woodson hired, BJ Armstrong hired.
Haven't even talked about that.
People are playing playoff games. We talk front office adds an assistant GM, and then we add an assistant coach.
Hey, at least it happened quick.
Yeah.
And
true.
I just love that we're both rocking Kings gear as we talk about NBA playoffs.
We're on the Kang Gang podcast today. That's
Oh,
what we
yeah.
were.
That was awesome.
All right. Let's have some fun.
You can do it.
Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. Deuce Mo. We're coming down 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Hey, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast. Recording this on a Friday night late after the Denver Nuggets win a wild Game 3 in Denver in overtime to take a 2-1 series lead. We're going to be talking about that game. Cavs, Pacers, sprinkle in some Kings. Look ahead to the games tomorrow as well. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. Each and every one of our podcasts presented by our friends here at Sentivo Vineyards and Winery, including all of our postseason coverage. How you doing, Mo?
I'm good. It was fun. You know, I feel like some of the games we've been watching have been earlier. So this one being later, I was like, oh shit.
It's funny what you consider
10:30.
late nowadays.
I
Because during
know.
the season, this is just normal. But once you're out of it, like the Kings have been out of it for like a month now.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, oh man.
You're like, I
talking
like the-
about a game at 10:30. What am I doing up so late?
I like the 5 o'clock starts,
Oh,
but
yeah.
at the same time, I am so glad that this game, if it is going to be later, it's worth watching all the way to
And
the
also,
end.
you cannot complain about tip-offs when you're on the West Coast. How do you think people in Oklahoma City feel? This game's tipping off at 9:10. Or if you're on the East Coast.
Well, don't live
So
there.
you cannot complain being a West Coast person. Before we dive into that game, The news that broke this week, and we haven't officially talked about on the podcast. Morgan Reagan.
Oh.
What a week for you.
I know.
Officially
So
named
fun.
the color analyst for the brand new WNBA team in
Yay.
Northern California, the Golden State Valkyries. Dude.
So fun.
You had your first preseason game, a loss to the LA Sparks. You got another one coming up Sunday. All right, but first things first, for those who don't know about all this, like, how does it feel to get this opportunity?
A dream come true. I mean, you all hear us every single time that we're talking about Stockton Kings NBA G League and we're calling those games. Like, it's always a dream come true. I remember people in Stockton would always be like, oh, they sent you down to us, huh? And Deuce and I are always like, what are you talking? Like, we're literally doing our dream job, and that is calling games. Now that I get to do it all year long and not just during the NBA season of the NBA G League, and I get to now experience the WNBA, is so cool. But then it's all the other things. It's the Valkyries, the inaugural season, it being in Northern California, Monarchs, you know, taken away from us. Like, what other professional women's sports do we have in Northern California? And it's just it's such an honor to be a part of it. It's so cool.
First preseason game, 18,000 in the building.
It was
Great energy.
insane.
No, it's cool. I'm happy for you too, because I know obviously the grind you've been on, and it's something you've wanted for a long time. And to be in this situation where the WNBA is finally getting the attention it's deserved for a long time.
Yes.
There's been so much talent, and it continues to grow.
Yeah.
And it's getting more eyeballs than ever. And here you are in this like really pivotal moment for the WNBA.
Thanks.
And now you're a part of it.
And it's so funny that you say like, oh yeah, I know the grind and the work that you put in. Well, I mean, Deuce is literally the one that's like already texting me during a game by the half, and I have 7 things I need to work on. That's always just been Deuce. He's like, look, if you're going to do this, you got to be great. You cannot get a name wrong. And guess what? I wouldn't want it any other way, because I always get I get a lot of love from people. And then the hate that you might receive from others, it's like, well, can it be constructive? Like, I want to get better. Like, I don't care if you don't like me. I want to know what I can do better. And like, Deuce finds the balance of both. And so I appreciate you always helping me along this journey. It's been really cool.
Don't try to make it about me. It's about you right now.
It's already been about me. I'm good.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Thanks. No,
Congratulations.
thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks to everyone for all the love too.
Let's dive into tonight what we just witnessed. Oklahoma City taking on the Denver Nuggets in a game that OKC will be kicking themselves for.
Oh my God.
Not only do they have the game 1 disaster, they responded in a great way in game 2.
Yep.
Or as Mark Dagnall said after that game, no, that's who we are. Well, tonight, a close game, a game in which SGA just wasn't in the flow of things. He was missing shots. It was a struggle. They couldn't hit threes. They were missing free throws. They were taking on a Denver team that had Jokic have one of his worst, probably his worst playoff game he has had. He ends up in this game with 20 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists, but 8 of 25 shooting, 0 for 10 from 3. He also had 8 turnovers, yet they lose this game 113 to 104. We've talked a lot about how composed OKC looks. Like, hey, man, they turn it on. If they're down in the third quarter of a game, they could turn it on and run away from it. But they haven't played a lot of close games. And it seems like, and this could be like overreacting a little bit, when they play close games, they don't always look good. And the stat I saw that just absolutely showed that tonight was this that I saw on social media just a bit ago. And including tonight, Oklahoma City has lost 16 games this season, and 10 have been clutch losses.
Whoa.
So within 5 points with 5 minutes or less to go in the fourth quarter.
Whoa, what a stat.
Yes. Karithika Uthaya Kumar?
Yeah.
I tried
Good
to
job.
say
Yeah,
it.
Karithika Uthaya Kumar.
Okay, you said it way better than I
Well,
did.
only because you said it first. And
That's a great stat.
Yeah. She puts out some good stuff. So, yeah. But when you see that, like, it's funny. You brought that up to me right away after this game. You're like, I'm telling you, there's something about OKC in these close games. Like, they don't have that experience because a lot of times they were either up the whole game or down going into the second half, maybe like middle of the third, and then they just pull away, right? Like, there's so many times where you'd be like, oh shit, is this team going to be OKC? No, like, they find a way, they pull away. But like, when you look at that stat, when it comes to being right there with the team in clutch minutes, and only in losing 10 of those clutch games, I don't know what the problem is there. I think each game might look a little different from the other.
Sure. But I guess my whole point on that is, look, it's a close game. They haven't played a lot of close games, and the close games that they played, I mean, you're talking about 10 losses.
Yeah.
That's a tough look for Oklahoma City, and this was a tight game. And couple that with, this is not the regular season in December. You're not only on the road in a hostile environment, you're playing against a Denver team that's won a championship, that was playing with great physicality tonight, that was fighting and clawing to stay within reach of this game. And down the stretch, it seemed like Oklahoma City buckled. And I felt like partly it was just kind of their offensive execution, especially in the overtime session. They were outscored 11-2 in overtime. And it's one thing to miss shots. Some of it tonight, I thought, in this game for Oklahoma City, is they were missing shots. They were getting great looks. But down the stretch, it was like a lot of one-on-one play. SGA took some questionable shots late in the game. Hartenstein in the overtime period missed 3 floaters, one an air ball, another one short, another one just missed. They took tough shots. There was not a lot of ball movement. I didn't love it.
How they were generating shots was off the dribble and not with the pass. And so they weren't moving the ball left and right with a quick pass and everyone touching the ball on the offensive end. I mean, it's crazy what that energy can do when every single teammate just touches the ball and what that can do to a defense as well.
Yep.
And then you talk about Hartenstein's push shot or floater or however you want to look at it. Mark Jones and Jay Billis had a stat in the beginning of the game saying that he has shot 82% on the season with that shot. Like, it's just such an efficient shot for him, and it's a good shot selection, takes it when he needs it. You look at the points in the paint for OKC Thunder. They were crushing it early on. It started to slow down, but even those shots were starting to be missed. And yeah, I really believe it was because it's like you said, the one-on-one and trying to score off the dribble so many different times.
I'm looking back at my notes. It was, wow.
What?
Just crazy looking at some of, let's see here, down the stretch of this game. I was looking at my wrong notes, sorry. It was a stat that was like, oh, wow, that was crazy. OKC is up 102-99 with the ball late in this game. You score a basket, you're feeling pretty good about winning this game, okay? 102-99, and SGA comes down and takes a tough contested mid-range shot. Denver gets that rebound, pushes. Jamal Murray with a great read, sees Aaron Gordon open, buries a 3-tie game. And that's what we're talking about. When it's not just missed shots, it's bad shots that lead to a team getting out and pushing, and you're all cross-match. And then you've got Chet with a late closeout against Aaron Gordon, who has turned into like one of these clutch playoff performers.
The clutch
what the hell
player
is happening?
Of the playoffs.
Another insane stat. I'm jumping around.
Oh, there
here
really is a stat for
with
this?
Aaron Gordon. In this series, 9 for 15 from 3, but he's 8 for 23 on 2s. What? Yeah.
Cool.
He was 4 of 6 from downtown, including that one. But I'm just watching going, that was the best look you could get, SGA?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it leads to a 3 on the other end. And so I felt like OKC shot themselves in the foot so many times. And you're not going to get nights where Jokic plays like this. It's just not going to happen.
Well, and how many times are we talking about the non-Jokic minutes? How can you win those minutes? But then also going back to some of the shot selection of SGA there at the end, like you were saying, then after the Aaron Gordon 3, you think about, was that then what was going to happen for OKC with SGA's shot?
Yeah, OKC doesn't take a timeout, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Jay was bringing the ball up and gets it to SGA.
Yes. Okay. So thank you for reminding me. Yes. So dribbling, have a lot of time. They find a motion, get it to SGA. SGA tries to get something to go. I said to Deuce immediately, why didn't Williams take that one? Why didn't he just decide to? And that's tough to say. It's SGA, right? You go back to the other end and you think about when they had Jokic launching that corner three at the end, especially on a night where he's shooting like shit from 3, 0 for 10.
How weird was that? It's a tie game. It's what, 102-102?
Mm-hmm.
Was that what it was? Yeah, at the end of regulation. And the play they draw up is a Jokic 3-ball. That actually looked pretty good.
I know.
It's like, you didn't have to,
I even said that to you. I said, why didn't they get that to Aaron Gordon? Why was he the inbounder? Those moments where I understand you want to depend on the guy that has been the guy forever, SGA and Jokic. I completely understand it. They're your, in the MVP running, whatever. But when you have someone with the hot hand or is just feeling good, you go with them. You feel it out the right way. I would have liked it to be a different shot selection.
I would like SGA to trust a little more. And there was one play in this game in the fourth quarter where Jalen Williams, who was fantastic in this game, ends up with 16 of his 32 points in the fourth quarter. He was awesome. His best playoff game he's had. He had a 3 because SGA allowed that double team to come, and he swung it. Jalen Williams stepped into it, late shot clock situation, and buries a big 3.
And fantastic job, by the way, by Denver all night long, just loading up on SGA, being like, no, we're going to make your life so difficult where you have to make someone else beat us. And it was Jalen Williams that was beating them. It was Chet being aggressive and getting to the rim and beating them. But SGA not only was feeling the pressure from Denver, but also didn't have an answer for it. And that was something I think that we're not used to seeing with SGA, especially in a big moment like this. It was like he couldn't figure it out. He couldn't get through it.
It was tough, and that overtime was just brutal to watch from OKC's perspective. The turnovers, the missed shots. I think Jalen Williams had 2 turnovers, and it was just everyone trying to force things. And now it's going to be fascinating to see how this young team that we all like to say, they're wise above their years. How are they going to respond in a game 4? They got to win. Because these close game situations, it hasn't looked pretty. And it doesn't mean that's going to be the case the whole series, right?
No.
Every game changes. What happened last game? They were up by 50, okay? They smashed Denver.
Insane.
And people are like, is Denver done? Game 1 was a fluke. It's okay, no, it's going to be a different thing. There's going to be adjustments made. I'm sure SGA is going to go back and watch the tape and go, this is what I could have done better.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the stuff they did in the first half, you liked. I mean, Dagnall's going to look at this game too and see we had 104 shot attempts in this game. 104. Denver had 85. Those are numbers you like. The offensive rebounds.
That's the one.
It was 18-5. But what's wild when you at 18-5 on offensive rebounds, it was OKC 11-9 on second chance points. So only +2 on second chance points.
Couldn't convert.
It's still valuable to get offensive rebounds, obviously, because you create additional opportunities, but it also sucks the life out of a defense. Denver did a much better job fighting, though, I thought, in that second half. They were getting outworked a lot in the first half. It was much better than the second half.
It was fantastic. And I think you're seeing guys like Brown and Michael Porter Jr. just with a different type of winning desire that is out there on the floor. You always see it from Christian Brown, but with Michael Porter Jr., injuries have kind of taken him out of the game over the years. And I felt like the way that he was just fighting through this freaking patch on his shoulder, being like, all right, I can't lift my arm up all the way, but I'm going to dive on the ground for this loose ball. I'm going to make some big shots. I'm going to do some big things. I think the relentless mentality, and then even someone, who was it? It was Watson that came off the bench and added another type of energy and hit a big 3 at the end of a quarter. And it was just they kept fighting, Deuce. And that fight was I think felt in didn't necessarily deflate OKC, but it gave a different type of energy for Denver.
I love this game tonight.
I
too.
know.
It
That
was physical.
Grinded out. Oh, physical as shit.
Yeah, and there was some of it that you're like, you do, I don't know. I love playoff basketball, and I do like the physicality. But there's some blatant shit that you're like, you do have to call that, right?
Yeah.
Didn't Dort have one? And I think it was in the fourth quarter. Murray was driving, and Dort just like, boom.
Yep, at the top.
Right into him, like lowered his arm right into Murray.
It like stunted Murray's entire body to not be able to continue forward. And it was just like, wait, that's like 100% a obvious foul. But they were letting a lot of things go. And both teams were getting frustrated. If the Denver Nuggets would have lost this game, Deuce, I would have blamed so much on Jokic throwing his arms up, looking for a foul after every single shot missed by him. He was just frustrated, right? And he kept like letting it take him out of it.
OKC's done a really nice job on him. And your whole thing with someone like him is, can we just make his life challenging? And I think they've done that the last couple of games.
Yep.
They have made his life challenging. Huge shout out to Hartenstein, but even the other Jalen Williams, the big Jalen Williams, he may be undersized per se, but the guy's strong.
So
and
strong.
He is fighting Jokic. They are bumping him. They're making his life challenging. And then, Oklahoma City's so good defensively at playing those gaps where, if Jokic is looking to pass that ball, you see guys just shoot that gap. I think Case and Wallace at one point tonight, like just read Jokic perfectly. Jokic had 8 turnovers in this game.
Yeah.
And then there was actually one in the first half, just speaks volumes to what OKC, what their identity is, that like nonstop compete. And it was Jokic pushing off a miss in transition, and Caruso gets back in the play, sprints his ass off, and just pokes it away from Jokic. Like they are just really, really good at rotating, communicating, and making life more challenging. And Jokic definitely gets frustrated because of it.
Well, the amount of times I'm seeing Lou Dort all up in Jamal Murray's face, right? Just like so physical. I just kept saying to you, I was like, the handles for Jamal Murray tonight, like his confidence with his handles, and to still have that ability when someone is that much up into you, like that to me was so impressive. That not only was he capable of still getting by, still being able to make things happen, keep his eyes up, all the different things, I felt like he did it all game. You know how tiring that can be?
Exhausting.
And to do it throughout an overtime game, I was just really impressed with his ability to keep leading, to keep being that floor manager too for Denver.
Oklahoma City in the final 17 minutes of this game, 21 points.
Oh, my.
They scored 19 in the fourth quarter and 2 in the overtime session. They were 7 of 30 in this game. And there was so much of those, a lot of those shots were short tonight. And you talk about like, hey, what Murray has to go through. That's what this type of series is. Like, these guys are grinding. And you just wonder, like, even for someone like Jokic tonight, who took 10 threes, 0 for 10, how much of it was like he was just getting beat up down low, and he's just getting so much attention that he's like, I'm open, I'm gonna take this. There's so much wear and tear. And abuse I'm taking right now, I'll settle for some threes. And I thought the same thing for OKC at times.
You're not going to have the same finesse on your shot. You're not going to have the same legs put into, your entire shot when that wear and tear is there. And I think it was more noticeable tonight. So how you put in that time for your recovery for the next game. I mean, some bodies bounce back and other bodies are like, shit, I'm getting older.
It's tough to say there was some good tonight when you're an Oklahoma City fan because your team's down 2-1. There was still some good stuff. The fact that they were fighting through this, that they've made life more challenging for Jokic. You just need to be better in crunch time. And so you just hope that this young team can learn on the fly and these experiences just benefit them. So down the stretch, when shit gets tight, the physicality is ratcheted up to another level. It's a 2-point game, that you make the right decisions and play your game. You're not going to get the same foul calls that maybe you get in the first half of these games. They're going to let some stuff go potentially. You have to play controlled. And tonight was one of the first times I went, whoa, OKC looks kind of young out there.
And it was literally toward the end of the game.
Yep.
It was they didn't look scared, or like the moment didn't look too big. I guess you could say rattled a little bit, but it was like they were rattled mentally.
Yep.
Because they were still playing with composure in their body language and things, but you could just tell they weren't doing the things that they've done all season long to play this beautiful style of basketball together. And especially when so many guys were playing so well in this game, like we had already mentioned with someone like Chet. I loved the way that he was being explosive, aggressive, and getting to the rim off the dribble. But then it's like later on in the game, you got to make sure. I'm not saying like he was being a ball hog or anything, but you got to make sure to include other people or find your way in the paint to find that open man. You got to change it up. And I just felt like it wasn't being changed up for a lot of these OKC players tonight.
Yeah, Chet in the paint was 6 of 12 in this game.
Okay.
Could have done much better. He's 1 of 6 from downtown, but I did like his aggressiveness to start this
16
game.
boards too.
16 rebounds. And that was one of the big like swing stats of the game tonight, was just the rebounding perspective. 54-49 in favor of OKC. It was even though in the second half. So I thought Denver responded well. The others, like Morgan said, played awesome tonight. 21 from Michael Porter Jr., who's gotten a lot of shit. I have a tough time giving someone shit when they're competing like that with the injury, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get what's even on his shoulder. It looks like
a pad,
but they can't make it a little cleaner. It looks
Nope.
like they went and got some like paper towels, like a paper towel roll, and just like rolled it up.
Yes.
With some ice on it. That's what
it's
what it looks like.
It's like a half shoulder pad, like a football pad, just like on one shoulder. I even when I saw it, I wasn't sure if it's just there's something even more restricting it from like coming up or out of its socket, or maybe just restricting so like he feels like he doesn't have to lift it all the way up on certain possessions. I don't know. I'm dying to know what the hell it actually does. But yeah, when you're making big plays and you're beat up like that, it's impressive.
Aaron Gordon, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists in
That
this
guy.
game. And Jamal Murray finished with 27 points, 8 assists. He also had 4 steals in this game, and Denver is up 2-1. I feel like this series is going to probably go 7.
I hope.
Yeah.
I hope we get more of this. And I really hope to see. I am such a big fan of OKC. And I think in some ways too, because some people have talked shit about them as a team, being young, not ready for them, blah, blah. I feel like that was just a narrative that people have been using for such a long time with them. Tonight, in the end of this game, they fed into that narrative a little bit more. But I still believe that they're just one of the best teams in this league, especially right now, this deep in the playoffs. And I want to see them play some better basketball, especially when it gets close at the end.
They shot 38%, 25% from 3. They were 15 of 22 at the free throw line in this game. It'll be fascinating to see what it looks like, because I could promise you this. I don't think we're going to see another Jokic game like this. But I think from OKC's perspective, they're going, yeah, but we know we can play better than this offensively. We know this. And you say we may not get another Jokic game like this. Are we going to get another Porter game like this? Or you know what I mean? Like that. Those are the big questions. Will the others be there?
But what about even for OKC being like, is SGA going to have another game like
Right.
this? You know, like
That's what
even
I'm
when
saying.
he is so powerful and contributes so much on the offensive end and his shots actually go in, it's like, you're winning this one. I think we kept saying throughout this one, like, no, he's not going to be this bad in this quarter. He's not going to be this bad in the second half, whatever. And it's like, he was. And a lot of credit, though, also to Denver.
Denver is great.
Really just throwing that pressure on him, throwing those bodies at him.
The way things were going for them early in that Clippers series, I was out on them. I thought they looked broken. They looked beat up. The whole coaching change. And here they are in the second round, up 2-1 in a wild set of circumstances. Game 1, the crazy Gordon play. Game 2, they get their asses just clapped. And then game 3 at home, stepping up in crunch time when it looked like maybe the game was going to go OKC's way. They find a way tonight. So good on them. Good on Denver. I love this series. Next game we got to talk about, Cavs Pacers.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make it so simple,
What?
but I felt like there was and anytime a team goes up 2-0, right, in a series, people like to kind of, hey, it's probably a wrap, especially the fact that Indiana went to Cleveland and won the first 2 games. To me, there was just like, but Cleveland's not whole right now. And tonight, Cleveland was whole. DeAndre Hunter back, Evan Mobley back. Those two specifically defensively, that changes things with their size, their length, their versatility defensively. And then you add in Darius Garland, who's been out for a while, his ability to just get in the paint, make shit happen. Irritated me when he picked up his 4th foul on a really, really poor decision.
Yep.
But he had some big moments. Like, they play better offensively when he's out there, especially when he's in attack mode and can get in the paint, kick out, and there get that ball rotating. But the story tonight to me
is what?
Tyrese Haliburton.
Oh, and not in a positive way.
He was so great in the final minutes of that game in game 2, especially with that game winner. He had 4 points in this game on 2 of 8 shooting, 0 for 1 from downtown. He took 1 3-point shot, Morgan. He had 5 assists. He had 3 turnovers. Tyrese, though, the other stat, he took 2 shots in the second half of this game.
Yeah.
1 of 2. Huge credit goes to
Max Strus and the Cavs.
The Cavs. I mean, the reality is, like, this team was a really good defensive team.
Yep.
During the regular season. And, you know, they could Max Strus can take some more chances now, right? Because he's got that backline protection where Jared Allen's not in a corner next to Miles Turner. You've got Evan Mobley there.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw it early. I saw Strus kind of force Tyrese Haliburton right. He drove. Evan Mobley was there and helped to block the shot. Tyrese never looked comfortable tonight.
Yeah.
And they were on pick and rolls. They were showing high. They were making sure to show 2, and he was getting off the ball. My problem with Tyrese tonight, and this has been a theme for him, games like this, I don't care how good the defense is, you cannot have 4 points in a playoff game with 8 shot attempts.
You say games like this because you see these other games when he has these huge moment, wins them.
Absolutely.
For his team.
And we give him love.
And it's like you give him all the love, right? Like we have. But that's why when you show us who you can be and then you don't show up when it matters most, you don't adjust when a team is throwing something else at you, you're going to get criticized. And to not contribute at all tonight for his team, it was tough to see. And like we said, Cavs were doing a good job. But one of the things that we felt like Tyrese could have done better was after he had the ball, the pressure was on, maybe couldn't get by, couldn't do something. He didn't do anything. He just remained along the 3-point line thinking, okay, I'm going to let other guys go to work. Or on the weak side, I'm going to let other guys go to work. And the spacing was just bad. And it's like he could slash in the paint. He could do something else along the baseline and make his guy work a little bit more. But he wasn't doing those things.
And he has to. I mean, it's
like
and
literally has to.
And to be honest, I thought they did a good job defending him in game 2, a game the Cavs should have won. They were like face guarding him, but like he got loose late, right? Like he definitely did. And I thought the Pacers did a good job of like getting Tyrese downhill, setting some high screens that allowed him to cook. But it's a little different when the rim protection of Evan Mobley's back. You know, you've got much more size out there. Like I even said, DeAndre Hunter and, you know, Max Strus playing some tough defense. The off-ball stuff, you're dead on. You know, it's like, I think the thought is, hey, I'm still spacing the floor because like you can't play off of me.
Mm-hmm.
But they would help off of him because they feel like the Cavs feel like they can help and recover. And if you're just standing in the same spot, and you're not being a threat whatsoever, you're easy to defend. You are. And it makes life more challenging on your teammates. So, one, the Pacers coaching staff needs to look in the mirror and go, this can't happen. It can't. Tyrese Haliburton can't get 2 shot attempts in the second half. Imagine if any other player we were talking about, if Jokic, hey, he only took 2 shot attempts.
Oh my God. We'd be
SGA,
shitting
2 shot
on him. Yes.
No, like, you kind of want to go down swinging. I'm not saying that Tyrese needs to start forcing shots. That's what makes him so good. He could set up his teammates and he makes so much happen out there. But on nights where they're defending him with different looks like they did tonight, the Pacers saw a 3-2 zone from Cleveland that messed some things up, that messed with their flow too. He could have done a much better job moving off ball, cutting, getting some opportunities, and run some different plays for him.
Well, and it was so interesting just even how the game started, right? It was the Cavs just going off and just like looking good. We got the gang all back together. We're feeling good. We're crushing. Pacers, fantastic job responding. You had TJ McConnell coming off the bench, adding a whole different energy. Then start of the second quarter, the Cavs went into that defense you just brought up. And when the Cavs went into that defense, into that zone defense, it just screwed with the Pacers so much more. It like didn't allow them to penetrate the way that they wanted to. But that's when you have to find the gaps with even a pass, a pocket pass, someone flashed through, someone cut, none of that was happening. But I was just shocked that those adjustments then I never felt like were truly being made in the second half by the Pacers.
There are moments, but you're right, not enough. And the numbers back it up. I think Caitlin Cooper, who covers the Pacers, does some great stuff. She was mentioning that like the Pacers' offensive rating plummets when they see the Cavs zone defense. And that's just based on regular season numbers. And, you know, the Cavs throw some different looks out there. And with that length and size, it is problematic for sure. And we're seeing these teams. It's crazy to see how teams just play zone defense all the time, where it was used to be like, hey, if we're playing zone, that means you can't guard. Well, now it's all about like changing the looks and coming in and out of zone on one possession and just trying to confuse teams and take them out of rhythm. And it definitely took Indiana out of rhythm, but they have too much offensive talent, in my opinion, and especially with the shooting and the passing ability of Haliburton to be that caught off guard. Like, put Jared Allen in some situations where he's got to switch maybe on the Tyrese Haliburton, get some mismatches. They didn't do enough of that tonight, and then Tyrese didn't do enough. That's the other thing with Tyrese. It is this where you're like, oh, who do you blame? Well, you blame the coaches, you blame Tyrese, you blame everybody, because someone in the huddle's got to be like, we got to get this guy a look here.
Yep. And even if it's him being like, I gotta get a look. I gotta make sure I'm getting a look. Or if I don't have the look at the rim, I'm passing it. Like, he's such a crafty person with the ball in his hands. And it felt like the pressure was too much. And when it became too much, he wasn't willing to find another way past it, mentally or physically. And I believe that he can adjust and make that change in the next game. I truly do. But when you look back and you see this game in this series with what he did, and anything goes downhill from here, you're just going to look at him as a leader and as one of the best players on his team. And if he's not providing, well, then he's not doing his job.
Cavs obviously were in like a desperate situation too.
Yeah.
Like, you needed to win this game.
Oh my God. Donovan Mitchell at the rim.
Donovan Mitchell in this series tonight, 43, game 2, 48, game 1, 33. He had 43 points tonight, 14 of 29 shooting, knocked down 5 of 13 from 3, had 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 turnovers. Plays with such physicality, his ability to just finish at the rim through contact, even when there's a big there in help positions.
It's
so
wild.
Crafty.
He's able to, like, his body control is incredible, but to be able to take the contact, finish through it, and somehow make it look even more fun when he does finish through it with his back to them, or a little up and under while he's in the air, which seems to be like 5 minutes sometimes. And then get the and one opportunity. The amount of times he was doing that at the end of the game, it just felt like, oh yeah, this one's over. And when it even felt like that, Rick Carlisle waved the white flag, cleared his bench, went in, boom. Kenny Atkinson didn't do that with his. He kept going until about 3 minutes left in this game.
You just didn't feel the Pacers much in this game, besides those moments you mentioned in the second. And then there's a brief moment where it looked like Indiana was making a push, where you're like, oh, I noticed like their heart and hustle out there, because TJ McConnell came in and made shit happen. They're rebounding tonight. Just awful. Donovan Mitchell had more rebounds than Siakam and Turner combined.
Whoa.
More rebounds than Nembhard and
Oh my God.
Siakam combined.
Well,
he had more rebounds than anybody in the Pacers starting lineup. Tyrese Haliburton did not have a rebound in 30 minutes. You got to do it. If you can't do what you normally do offensively, get a rebound.
do something else.
Please.
Yeah.
Neesmith led him with 7 rebounds. The rebounding was 56-37 in favor of the Cavs tonight. And more staggering than that, offensive rebounds 18-4. And even more staggering than that,
Yeah.
second chance points 31-9.
Holy.
And that got better in the second half, actually, in favor of Indiana, because I think at halftime, it was 21-4 Cavs at the half. I noted that down.
So bad.
Just can't happen, man.
No.
I mean, and so Indiana got punked a little bit tonight. And now that the Cavs saw a game like this where they're like, wait, we're whole. We weren't super efficient from 3. They were 14 of 47, 29%. We're longer.
Mm-hmm.
We're tougher. We got a guy in Donovan Mitchell that's playing like this. They can get back in the series.
Oh,
I believe that.
I still didn't doubt them even when they went down. You know, I think this team plays so well as a team that even when they're missing their role guys or big guys that make a huge impact, it makes a difference. And with them, you saw how big of a difference it made from the start of this game. As soon as Mobley was in there, it was just like, that was missing. His presence alone.
The defensive player of the year was missing.
Yeah, his presence alone, and obviously him and Allen together, just being able to be that second line of defense, being able to protect the rim, but then on the offensive end, still just being threats in the paint when they need to be. Yeah, it was eye-opening for me, being like, oh yeah, no, they definitely are still in this.
It's a big game 4 coming up in Indiana.
It is.
There's a lot of pressure. I mean, it's just such a swing game. It's like, hey, you win, it's tied. If you're the Cavs, you win, it's tied. Going back home, you feel great. But if you lose, you're down 3-1. It's just like, my goodness.
That's how it goes.
It's
That's how
crazy.
this works. I know.
Makes me nervous.
It should. It should. But that's why this shit's so fun. And that's why it's even with that game, I mean, obviously it wasn't close at the end. But it was fun to watch throughout because you would see Indiana go on little runs, like maybe start of the third a little bit more. And then once it stopped, it was like, oh yeah, this isn't their game.
I appreciate TJ McConnell
so much.
So he played 21 minutes in this game, 12 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. Comes in just in attack mode, pushing the pace in transition. On the other end, like playing tough defense, forcing, like I think it was Garland taking a tough shot, and it was a great contest.
Yeah.
By TJ McConnell. The energy shifted when he came in. And same with Matherin, who, is still a young player, and to see him come in and knock down some big shots to try to get them back in it. But it's not enough if, you've got Haliburton having an off game. Turner, what he ended up with, he had 15 points, 3 rebounds. Nembhard, who's been really good too. So
they got to bounce back.
It's going to be interesting to see. We got to look ahead to the next couple of games too, and talk some Kings as well. But we should mention that tonight's podcast presented by our friends over at Sentivo Vineyards and Winery.
Oh yes, it's been the drink of the summer already for me. It's they're family-owned business, and they're local. They're all Kings fans. They're all amazing people. And you can drink some of their wine too by going to sentivovineyards.com. That's where you can buy all their wine. But they do have a tasting room that's opening up in the Fairfield area coming up. And they already have a tasting room in El Dorado Hills. And so, yeah, it's been just such a joy to be sipping on this wine in the NBA offseason and for the playoffs. So make sure to go to sentivovineyards.com to get yours.
Also presented by our friends over at Medic Ambulance.
Woo, woo. We're thrilled to team up with Medic Ambulance, the trusted name in emergency medical services across Northern California. From life-saving responses to being the team behind the scenes at your favorite events, Medic is there to serve. When seconds matter, trust the professionals setting the standard in patient care. Medic is the official emergency medical response partner of Sac Republic and Sac State Athletics. Learn more at medicambulance.net.
Also presented by our friends over at Underdog. Well, they score buckets. You could score cash on Underdog. Underdog is one of the leading sports apps you could play now in your state. That app has 100,000 5-star reviews and millions of players. And playing Underdog is a layup. Just download the app, then pick higher or lower on a player's stats like points, assists, and more. And if you get the if you get the picks correct, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. So you could turn $1 into $1,000 just with your hoops knowledge.
Whoa.
For example, maybe you look at games like tomorrow. You can go higher or lower, 27.5 points on Jason Tatum. Or later in the night, higher or lower on Rudy Gobert, 10.5 rebounds. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code DM Podcast to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code DM Podcast. Here comes a long disclaimer. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
That part always gives me anxiety, like your head is going to explode.
Let's catch.
Like, he's reading too fast. He's going to explode.
Speaking of New York, Madison Square Garden, the site of a big game 3 between the Knicks and the Celtics tomorrow.
Oh.
Obviously, it's going to be dated real fast, but for our live people, just quickly, I mean, the fact that the Knicks have won these first 2 games, the fact that the Knicks were down 20 in the first 2 games, the fact that down the stretch, the Celtics look disjointed, missing shot after shot. So much criticism about Jason Tatum. The Knicks are up 2-0, but they've been down in both these games by 20 plus. I don't know what to make of this.
I don't know what to feel about tomorrow's game or what to even expect. But I mean, what you do know is that whether they're going down 20 or not, they're finding a way to dig a way out of it. Is it their like relentless nature, or is it the Celtics being lackadaisical in certain ways and just like not making sure that they're hitting back first as soon as that run starts to come? So yeah, tomorrow should be fun.
The atmosphere is going to be wild in New York. I mean, just they're coming back up 2-0. It's like house money. It's like, oh, good. We win this. We're up 3-0. Let's go.
Yeah, but you can't play like you're up 2-0.
Tatum in the last game, by the way, 13 points on 5 of 19 shooting.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, they have not shot it well. They were 10 of 40 in game 2 after that other night where they shot 63s and couldn't make anything. It's Boston. I'm not ready to count them out yet. I think there's been so much talk about Tatum. It's like, this is like a legacy-defining game in game 3. It's like, well, it is until the next one. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, the guy's won a championship. He's a talented player. He may be flawed. I think Boston right now, they're just banged up. I mean, this Porzingis thing where he had an illness, right? Left game 1. He only played 14 minutes in game 2. You know, it's just that's tough. I mean, they're counting on these guys to be available. You got Horford, who can make stuff happen, but, you know, he's also getting older. Brown's clearly banged up. It just doesn't look like the same type of team that we saw last year.
This article, the title, Joe Mazzulla, Celtics remain coy on mystery illness impacting Porzingis.
Say that one more time because that didn't make any sense.
Joe Mazzulla.
I was just joking.
Oh.
My goodness.
Wait, really?
It was just what you would, if I read it like that, you would have hopped on me. And so you read it and messed it up. And so I was just giving you shit.
Where did I mess up? I said mysterious instead of mystery.
And then, yeah, that's exactly it. You messed up.
That's not
That's
bad.
a turnover.
No.
Just say my bad.
Well, because wouldn't that technically kind of be the same thing in defining the illness?
Sure.
Mysterious and mystery.
Sure.
Mystery illness. Just kind of funny.
Yeah, I think the Celtics bounce back in game 3.
I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's crazy to be up that big. Although, like, that's the other thing I always say now is like these leads. People are like, oh, they were up 15 and they let it go. Dude, 15-point leads are like 6-point leads. It's really nothing in today's league. The last game coming up tomorrow, we get Warriors and Wolves too. Without Steph, I'm like, good luck, Warriors. I don't know what to tell you. You don't have Steph. I don't think Minnesota's played great though. I really
That's
don't.
why I'm like, what are you even saying? I still like the way that I've seen the Warriors play, even without Steph at times. I'm like, it's sometimes it's too close, and maybe you're right, and maybe it's because of how the Wolves have been playing, how Ant has been playing. So I think ultimately, like the Wolves just have to lock in, like pretend to yourselves that Steph Curry's out there on the floor. Pretend Buddy Hield Steph Curry. Like whoever the hell you need to stop and slow down, like that's the type of attitude, that's the type of energy you need.
Yeah, Ant's got to play better. Minnesota just hasn't been great.
Yeah.
So, let's talk some Kings for a second.
Yes.
There's been some Kings news over the last week. We learned that Mike Woodson, the former Hawks and Knicks head coach, most recently coaching at Indiana in college, is now going to be the lead assistant under Doug Christie for the Sacramento Kings.
Okay.
Well, he's got experience. One, he played here. People forget that. He played here 1985.
I did. I already forgot
like
that.
When early teens at
Wasn't
that point,
even born.
1985. He also has a connection with Scott Perry, too.
Yes.
They worked together in Detroit at one point. Mike is obviously an experienced coach, and I think we looked at the staff and went, okay, Doug Christie's going to need some experience. We don't know the rest of the staff. We've heard like the rumors about Bobby Jackson. Who the hell knows at this point what's going to happen? He's still with the Sixers on Nick Nurse's staff. But, Mike Woodson is an experienced guy, and I think, we've heard Mike Bibby talk about this before. Mike Bibby said like he was his favorite coach.
Yeah.
He brings a toughness. He's someone that Doug can lean on. It's also not someone that's like trying to get a head job. So I think it's a good, like from an experience standpoint, yes.
Okay. I know I don't care about this, but I just randomly saw this. How old do you think he is?
64, 65?
67.
Are you?
He just doesn't look 67.
Oh, really? What's he look like to you?
Yeah. I would have guessed like maybe early 60s.
Yeah.
Anyway. That was it. Yeah, no, it wasn't an 8. I'm not one of those people that give a shit about like, oh, he's old, whatever. No, I like it from an experience standpoint. I like it from all the reasons that you just mentioned with the connections to Sacramento, some former players and everything as well. And also, one of the main things is like he's not looking to try and take someone's job.
Right.
That ultimately, like being able to have that trust and that collaboration on a coaching staff is so very important in this league. And
It was deeper than basketball.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just like a wait and see kind of person with everything.
I did want to play a clip with Carmelo talking about him. I saw Kenny Caraway share this. It was Carmelo and J.R. Smith talking about Mike Woodson.
It was deeper than basketball. Ain't no other team moving like this. Ain't no other team outside. And we represent New York. And Woody was the one who held that down because there was a lot of that could have came into that locker room, which it did, that a lot of y'all would never know.
He holds you accountable and he don't care where you stand. Woody, hey, Mello, what the you doing, man?
Hey, man, come here, man.
What you say? Like, he get up like he want to smoke. Like, hey, man, what? Don't tell me. But he like that. He like your uncle, like your OG.
You need an OG.
Uncle. That's hilarious.
And if he's going to keep it, you need guys that are going to keep it real. A guy who's been around too.
Yeah.
So it's good to have someone like Mike Woodson around. The other story that someone on our Discord posted about, and I totally forgot about this, is when he showed up to a game in 2010 without his eyebrows.
Bad photo. Such a
What do
bad
you mean
photo.
it's a bad photo? It's a real photo. That's
I
what
know,
he looked
but like out of all the, I want to see
okay.
another photo because like that one especially with his eyes looking up.
Well, and that's the thing. I try to find the story about like
The why.
why it happened,
Yeah.
and there's like many different like explanations.
Yeah. Okay. That photo is more fair. The other photo looked fake. Like this photo is more like, all right.
Let's see if I can get this.
Okay, yeah.
So he shows up to a
Yeah, there you
game
go.
without eyebrows, and so everyone's like clowning him. You know?
Yeah.
So someone said his barber accidentally like hit,
Shave one.
and then I gotta shave the other. Another story, I think it was Josh Smith was talking about it happening, and he suggested it was like he was lighting a cigar and
It lit?
it lit some of his eyebrow on fire, so he had to shave the other one.
Here's my question. Why would you go with shaving the other? Why wouldn't you just go with like drawing in one? If you screwed up one, why wouldn't you just draw in the other one? I mean, there's so many different makeup techniques you could have used.
Yeah, because I'm sure Mike Woodson's like, let me look up some makeup techniques for this situation. But the other thing that I thought it was fake, and maybe it's not. Can we get some confirmation? So apparently, the other thing that they did is Josh Smith was like, "Hey, let's cut some Velcro and put Velcro where your eyebrows would go." And he did it in the post-game interview. Like, that can't be real, right?
Well, the other photo didn't look real either until I made you. I need to find another Velcro eyebrow photo.
Oh,
and then we can compare.
And I laugh about this, and JC is so right. Juice hasn't had visible eyebrows his entire life. Can't be that bad. Yeah, my eyebrows are so light.
So I told you should tint them for TV.
I said, don't even know what that means.
So a tint, you wouldn't dye your eyebrows, but like what a lot of women with even blonde eyebrows, and lashes, you would tint it. And so it would just give it like more of an outline. So when the TV light or the podcast lights are hitting you, you're not going to have that. Because in person, like they're there. Like you have a lot of hair there. Just light as
like
fuck.
if I shave them, do you think anyone would notice? In here. No? They're that light?
Yeah, I literally have told you.
I know, but why are they so light? Is that like
because you were born that way.
Why can't I have like normal eyebrows?
Dude, look at your eyebrows right now. Like you can tell like they're there. Okay. Like you do have hair. Like, but with certain lighting, you're just not good. They're going to like kind of go away. Like I have dark ass eyebrows. And I used to like color mine way too much, but I just didn't know.
But you had yours
micro needled or micro bladed actually. Yeah, because I love that scares you. That's because when I was younger, I used to pluck so many that hair just started not to grow back on the ends. So then I had to like get it professionally done.
Should I get mine microbladed? Huh?
No, you should just get a freaking tint. A freaking tint. Please, like, can that be like a off-season thing that we do?
Yeah, we'll think about it.
Thanks.
Or I could do Velcro like Mike Woodson.
Or that. Either or.
Be interesting to see what else Doug Christie, Scott Perry can do to add to this coaching staff. The other news was that Scott Perry has hired BJ Armstrong as his assistant GM. BJ, who's been an agent for a long time with the Wasserman Group, which is a very big agency, is leaving that to be in a front office. Of course, he played in the NBA too, won championships with the Bulls, and he's also done a podcast with Scott Perry, Talking Hoops.
Love a podcast.
There was one
partner.
I clicked on that was shared in our Discord too that said, the title said, "The Kings Are Cooked." It's like BJ Armstrong talking about the Kings and like, got a lot of talent. Just doesn't seem to kind of mesh together.
Of this current roster shit.
Yeah, like, well, guess what?
It's yours now.
It's yours.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Deal with it.
You got to cook something with that.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, there was so much talk about like Monty and Wes and their relationship and what it was, what it wasn't. The reality is both those guys did interview for the GM job.
Yeah.
And they didn't really work together before. One was the GM, was the assistant GM. But like it's been reported, Wes did take on a lot of responsibility, had a lot of influence as well. Monty did too. This situation, I think just on the surface, I go, I'm just glad that I know for a fact that Scott and BJ, same page.
Friends.
They're friends.
Same page.
They've worked together.
No one's trying to take anyone's job. Love it. Love it.
And what BJ can bring to the table. I mean, this guy, he played and he was a former agent. I think relationships are really important. The reality is when you're in a front office, you have to have the ability to know other agents, to build relationships with teams, to have tough conversations, be able to relate to players. I think all that stuff matters. I am interested to see like what else Scott does to tinker with the front office, I'd like to see them not ignore the analytics side.
Yeah.
You know, like you have to have some young, sharp minds. I think that's the biggest thing I would say. Even on the coaching side, like vets are important, but it's also important to have like young, fresh ideas, different perspectives. And I definitely want that with the Kings front office.
Well, I just think about even what we were talking about tonight with what we saw with the Cavs and playing in that zone defense, and so many other teams are doing that as well. It's like you have to be willing to evolve with this game and what players are producing in today's game, not just what you knew in the past or what you liked in the past. Like there's a way to find the balance or experience or test out whatever else with some of the new stuff. So yeah, I'm glad that people seem like they'd be down to collaborate. Hey, we're saying that right now in the middle of the offseason.
It's going to be tough, man. I have no idea. Like the excitement I have about the offseason, I don't even know if I call it excitement. Like what would the word be? It's not anxious. It's anxious / eager.
Wait, keep naming. I like this. Keep naming maybe things that it is.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's conflicting emotions.
Okay.
Because there is always excitement with the unknown, but there's also a little
Hope?
anxiousness. I wouldn't even say there's hope. I
Okay.
mean, there could be hope. Maybe
Yeah.
there's hope with you. I don't know. I'm just saying,
I don't
like,
even know.
here's what I know. It's different. It's going to be different, I think. Could you imagine? We're like, dude.
Wait. I love that you just said it's going to be different. ... I think.
Well, because
I know, because you never know.
something I've thought about a lot.
What?
You know, there's a lot of people who just believe like DeMar DeRozan's going to be gone this year. Like, oh, he's going to be traded.
It's not.
And
how
in my
it
head, I'm like,
works.
yeah, I could see them moving him, like just from a piece's perspective, his contract. Okay. And then I start thinking about it, and I go, we said the same thing about Harrison Barnes,
Yep.
and he was here year after year. Who's to say a team is like going to be jumping to trade for DeRozan? I'm not saying he is a bad asset or a bad player, but even these playoff teams, someone like DeRozan, can he stay on the floor in a series?
Yeah.
Or is he more of a guy that comes off the bench? You know, I don't know. You know.
And this is the other thing that I said to Deuce the other day. I said, Sacramento cannot fear who the hell they have come off a bench, be in the starting role, have a different role. I don't care if you're getting paid $100 million a year. I don't care if you're getting paid $2 million a year. I just don't give a shit about that. I don't. And I know for so many years we have to care about that. No, I care about who and what works together on the floor, even if someone's getting paid way more money. I look at the Warriors and how far they keep coming. Now, they obviously have one of the best players in the world, but like they have put Draymond on the bench. They have Buddy Hield coming on the off the bench in the starting role, whatever. You think about Jonathan Kuminga, like all of these different players, but they have like this system and this culture and whatever else in place where you trust it because we've won. And the Kings, they haven't won, but at the same time, like that's the way it needs to be while still finding that balance of like not having disgruntled players and losing the locker room. You got to find that respect that
It's tough though, because when you say that, I'm like, one, Jonathan Kuminga is not happy about his role.
No,
he's
but
got
he's
a future
young.
contract on the line. He's going, I'm not playing.
Yeah.
And now he's getting more time the last couple of games. It's also like some of those things I think are just easier when you're winning. Like even tonight, I'm seeing the start of overtime, and Dagnall goes with Caruso over Chet, and then like 2 seconds later he pulls Caruso, puts Chet back in the game. But your larger point is right. Like I do think in Sacramento, and maybe it's just a bad team thing. I don't know. It's like sometimes you have to make tough decisions with your lineup, even in a close game, and someone's going to be upset about it. But as long as you understand it's for the greater good, that's what it's about. Like, hey, Finch the other night pulls Randall. He was pissed about Randall's effort. Randall was heated. And you know what he said after the game?
And I loved what he said.
He said he appreciates Chris Finch. He goes,
Yep.
yeah, I was upset in the moment, but I know he has my back and he trusts me. But
And it wasn't like that weird, like, where you just say it to end the conversation from media, whatever else. It was like the genuine respect for one another. Oh, good.
Oh, yeah, here's the clip. Here's Julius Randle after Finch pulled him from the game last game.
Yeah, he cussed us out pretty well. Yeah, he was unhappy, and he let us know he was unhappy, and we felt that. But we were pretty motivated as a team, and the thing I like about Finch is, personally for myself, he can coach me hard, and I might not like it in the moment, or whatever it is, but I love that he can challenge me like that. The other day we were in the film room, he challenged me multiple times on things that he saw from an effort standpoint. So I want to make a point to come out and prove and play with a high amount of energy, high amount of effort, and respond to that challenge, not really necessarily take it personal.
Yeah, I mean, you also just have to have those type of players that are sensitive, and part of it's on the coach too, to build a legit relationship where it doesn't come across in a way of like, I'm clowning you or trying to belittle you. There's trust between us where it's about accountability, and we're all pulling we all need to be
You
together.
understand the intent of the coach.
That's a better way to say it.
Yeah. yeah. ... You understand the intent. No, and that's just ultimately what it is with so many things. Like even when people want to joke with each other, and it's like, well, if you know this person's an asshole, then the intent of the joke is probably to be an asshole. And so like when you build that respect for one another and that love for the game, and it's known, that intent to being cussed out is going to be out of like passion and just wanting that challenge and wanting that person to do it right, not just for you, but for themselves.
Yeah.
Deep, man.
That was deep.
Hey, man. That was deep.
Sacrifice. It's all about sacrifice. Let's win.
Man. Do it for the team.
Do it for the team. I just want to have fun watching basketball. I think
we've been having fun.
The only other thing I'm talking about with the Kings specifically.
I know you were, but
I will say this. I think as of now, before we know of any moves being made, hell, the Kings could move up in the draft lottery on Monday, jump all the way up to top 4 and get a pick. Or it's just going to stay and they're going to lose their pick to Atlanta. Anyway, as it stands right now, my expectations aren't very high going into next year. Which in some ways I think might be good, because last year,
dude, it's good for you, because this is I think you are great, but I already know this is going to change. Yep. Oh, yeah. End of September.
Well, I'm going to start talking myself into things.
Yes. I just know this about you. I know this about you.
Hey, Doug with a full camp, his coaching staff. I think there's, Look, Morgan, 27 and 24.
You're going to hear,
with all that shit going on last year, why can't they be better? Why
you're going to hear 2 pressers around training camp or something. You're going to be like,
dude. When I see that Levine Sabonis like workout in the summer, hey, dude, like they're figuring out the 2-man game together. Like, don't you feel
just you wait, people.
You spend a week together in Napa together. There's no way you don't build a bond. That bond. And look, They did not have a point guard last year. They have one now.
Jake would like you to double down on another 50-win season prediction.
Man.
It's funny, Jake.
I will not do that.
One thing I really wanted to address in the beginning of the show when we were talking about the Valkyries position that I'm in, everyone needs to know, some people are like, where are you leaving? No. You guys. It's WNBA, and this just shows me how many of you need to watch some WNBA, because WNBA is a different season than the NBA season. Unless your NBA team is in the playoffs, then there would be some crossover. But the Kings are never in the playoffs, almost never. So there's not going to be crossover. So I got Valkyries in the NBA offseason. All right? I'm both. Hey, I bleed purple in the summer and the winter.
Unless the Valkyries make a deep run this year, they could knock that thing in October.
And it still wouldn't. It's still like...
Yeah, you're right. I think next year would be the first year.
Because they play so many less games.
Yeah, but that's going to be changing. They're going to be adding games.
I love that confidence. That's cool.
No, it's true.
No, I know. Well, and hopefully, like, there just comes a time when, like, I just find a place where I can, like, have so much security with 2 different jobs that I can just, like, do it all and everything's great.
One day, Mo. No, yeah, you're not going anywhere.
Oh, yeah, that was the ultimate point. I was
Can you imagine if you announce that and you don't even mention that you're like leaving?
Yeah, no, definitely not. That would never.
Yeah. Don't say never.
Never.
You're never going to leave Sacramento.
Never say never.
You're never going to leave Sacramento.
I don't want to. So no. I love my life.
You
here.
got 1 foot with Joe Lacob now.
But that's
You're
90
getting
minutes
Joe
away,
Lacob
bro.
money.
Joe Lacob also likes the color purple in the WNBA season.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah. I know you're probably right. I am going to talk myself into things.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I do that every year.
Every
and I feel
year.
like some Kings fans, I guess that's part of the beauty of sports is you go, man, what if all these things went perfect? Could something special happen?
And I honestly don't think it's always delusional. I think there was a time wherein it felt a little bit more delusional with some of the rosters that you would talk yourself into and like, oh, is Kyle Guy going to like step up and do certain things? Like, yeah, for sure. But I do believe.
Just to be clear, I never said that. I was suggesting when the team was losing 9 in a row that, hey, maybe you give Kyle Guy some minutes. I wasn't suggesting that he had some bright future.
No,
I wanted to see him more. That's when you know we're tough as fans. I'm over here doing, dude, I've watched Daquan Jeffries in the G. Like,
that
give
happened.
this guy some minutes. I just want to see it.
I believe that a little bit too, because you just see his explosiveness, his ability to like throw it down. And yeah.
Hey, Justin James, he had that big game.
What about that one? Why can't I think of that one player that would just chuck up a whole bunch of shots on the Stockton King? He's seen.
Oh, Troy Williams.
Yeah,
dude.
yes.
Troy Williams. Dude.
He would go to Chuck City. He was just all about himself playing and like but like he would get buckets, you know, but it's like ultimately people want to see how you interact with in the team sport. But anyway, yeah, no, I think it's good to be hopeful. I don't think you're delusional. And that is what sports is all about.
Thanks for saying I'm not being delusional right now at the moment.
No, not yet. No.
We'll see though.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. But that's what makes it fun for me.
Do you make your prediction now? Do you think
No?
by the time
yeah.
we get to October, I will be predicting like playoffs?
It depends on what I think if there was any tweaks made, like big tweaks, and that would be like anyone from Sabonis, Levine, DeMar. I'm just putting that out there. That yes, you would be talking yourself into the Kings are making the playoffs in the Western Conference.
Okay.
And just like with one tweak, I think you'd be like, oh yeah, I mean, it's paired next to Keegan, and look at Keon Ellis taking another step. Oh, and they got a point guard off the, I don't know, somewhere.
Off the somewhere? Yeah, man, it's changing.
I was gonna say like waiver wire.
Let's get the final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Oh, I had so much fun again on a Friday night. I love that we're going live more in this NBA off season with all the playoffs. I know we do a lot of clips, but it is fun to go live. And everyone that ends up joining live on a Friday night, you're basketball sickos. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, shout out to you guys. Also, shout out to Jacob who donated $5 saying, "Drunk, here's money." Winky face.
Thanks, Jacob.
And to all you basketball sickos. Yeah, we'll do more of this. We love you guys, but we gots to go.
You all have a wonderful rest of your evening. See ya.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce